The views expressed in this program are those of the hosts and guests, not Ben West Productions or its broadcasting affiliates.
Is Oklahoma really the place to be when it comes to cannabis? Or is it just a place to be until it's not? Tonight's guest is Summer Parker, straight from Oklahoma. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Check the mirrors. Secure the load. Yo Rants. Oversized load. Yeah. From the cab to the Capitol, I bring it direct. No spin, no polish, just truth and respect. Back rows taught me how systems break. Front rows showed me who profits off pain. I don't rant to be loud, I rant to be clear. If it affects the people, it's landing right here. Medical justice, policy games. Same old stories, different names. Driving change in every lane.
Welcome to Yo Rants, Oversized Load. I'm glad you all joined us tonight. Whew, it's been a long session, but we're still here. We're ready to drive change in every lane. Tonight, we have a special guest, which is Summer Parker, and we're going to get to that in just a minute. But first, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to Yo Rants 101 or at the Can of Shame Network. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. Summer Parker, let's go ahead and say, I continue to want to say Summer Walker, but I know it's Summer Parker, but it's easier said than done. But hey, let us go ahead and have her bring her to the stage and let her introduce herself.
Hello. It is Parker, not Walker, but that's okay.
Look, I hear Walker, Parker. Look, I know that there's another, I think Summer Walker, I think she's like on Love and Hip Hop or something like that. I don't know.
Well, maybe I do want to be her.
Who knows?
Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad that you were able to join me tonight because I know, especially with legislation session, because legislation session is going on there too, right?
It is.
Okay. Well, first, tell us about yourself, Summer.
Well, I am 47. I am a mom of adult children and a grandmother of multiples now. I have a 7-year-old granddaughter and a 2-year-old grandson, and I'm also raising a 15-year-old bonus baby. She ain't a baby no more, though.
They're always babies.
Right? Always babies. I'm an Oklahoman, bred and born. Was raised here in Tulsa area most of my life. So my roots are deep, generations of deep, and I love Oklahoma. I've left here, went other places. I've always journeyed back, and some people call it being a crab in a bucket. I call it being content and happy. So
you know what? That's how it is a lot of times, because you think about when somebody's happy, you see changes in them, you see a glow about them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get you. When that glow is gone, it's like, wait a minute, let me go ahead and try and find that glow.
Yeah. So my journey in advocacy, though, started in 2023. And it started due to my boyfriend and I both consuming what we later found out to be contaminated cannabis products that were being sold at the medicinal level, at the retail level, at dispensaries. And so that was a hard thing, when we realized that we had consumed products that were what we would consider to be unsafe, with neurological side effects, stroke-like symptoms, Bell's palsy type symptoms, aggravated migraines, things of that nature were some of the issues that we were dealing with. I can't ever say it, passing the hell out. Okay, that one. I had that happen to me multiple times. One time I fell down some stairs and face planted in my buddy's shop. They couldn't get to me. I laugh now and trust me when I tell you that's trauma laugh. You know what I mean? I hate that little side effect. But
hey, I'm with you because you see me laughing with you a little bit. It's like, oh God, because I'm like, oh my God, how can you alleviate the thought of someone going through something that they actually supposed to trust,
My boyfriend, he was literally beside himself in April of 23. It was like my second hospital admission in less than 30 days. He was just like he wanted to go and do extreme measures to figure out what was wrong, go to every length he possibly could. And I love him and adore him for that. The doctors just weren't willing to coincide it. And so right now, the doctors and the hospitals and stuff, they want to blame it on marijuana, right? And we need these doctors to understand that marijuana, Mary Jane, this beautiful cannabis sativa plant, is not a harmful plant. Impurities, pesticides, heavy metals, things like that, they get drawn up into this plant because it's a bioaccumulator. It draws it all up and in, right? And so all of that stuff goes into that plant. So your growers have to really 100% look at this like it's medicine, treat it like it's medicine, because that's how we're consuming it as a medicinal product. So yeah, fast forward a little bit, we started testing some products that we were consuming. We found the pesticide-filled products. It kind of became an obsession of mine and Charles's for about a year and a half, just because we were shocked with how much stuff that we would submit for testing and it would come back as a failed product. In 2023 alone, I want to say about 40% of the products that we independently tested failed. That was atrocious. But to be fair, we were hyper-focused on a couple of brands that year. And we just kept testing those brands as products, hoping that eventually it would be okay. And so neither one of those companies are in business today in the state of Oklahoma. So they couldn't get it together.
Yeah. You have to be concerned with that, especially, with people's lives in their hands. And that's one of our big concerns too, as far as safety, especially looking at the history of how the government even sprayed the fields over in the fields in Georgia mountains with the paraquat. And that's why I started looking into like the contaminants and stuff like that in medication. So it's great that you all are into I guess, making sure you checking the products, it's beneficial to you all and everybody else too.
At the time, Charlie and I were both in the industry in sales. And at the time, one of the companies that I spoke about of those two in 2023, he had worked for, and one of them I had worked for. And so we also felt a very personal conflict inside ourselves because we felt like that we had helped push, distribute, sell this product to not only, our friends who own dispensaries, but to their clients who trusted them, to our family members, who, when we would be given samples from the companies to try a new product line, well, of course, you're going to share with your friends or family, right? And granted, that was 100% against the rules to do. But at the time, half of us didn't know that, When we started in this industry, I did not know what the SOPs of a patient were, or a caregiver, or a sales rep, or anything else.
I mean, we get it. It's the same here,
But we just kept testing. But what I can say now, though, about our product testing, independent testing that we do, is that we have seen that number drastically decline over 2023 to 2024 to 2025, leading into 26. Can't believe I've been doing this 4 years. We've seen it drastically decline. I don't think that we've had one single pesticide fail for 2026 so far at all. And maybe just 2 or 3 in 2025. It was funny though, because one of the labs that we used to test with, they had somebody bring a sample in one time to drop it off for their business. They didn't know we was affiliated with each other that way, that we did business with each other that way. And the guy told the lady at the counter, he said, there's no point in doing it wrong anymore. He's like, not with Summer Parker out here testing all our shit.
Oh my God.
It was like, yes, I win.
That is great, because that comes from the sheer passion, and that, a lot of times when people are driven by money, it's different because they can be bought. But when you're driven by your passion, that's great right there.
I have done nothing but lose money doing this.
What are you saying? It's the exact. Oh my!
Yes.
More money coming out, and then you just see the ones, you know.
And you know, when we were going through all of that, I was Google searching. I was trying to find answers on what to do about what we had figured out had happened, not only to us, but so many others, you know, that we know and don't know. And that's when I came across Antonio with Americans for Safe Access.
Yeah.
And got linked up with them, called them up and was like, yo, bro, y'all seem to be like caring whether or not people are doing it right. You know, I'm like, well, Oklahoma is screwing this shit up right now. You know?
Yeah.
And they actually were a really great resource because they were able to pair me up with a litigator that I was able to talk to. And we're actually taking some civil action here in Oklahoma on one of the operators that had put out harmful products. I'll just say that.
So, you know, that's great accountability. And that's one thing that we're really concerned about here in Georgia, especially with some of the products that I'm concerned with, especially thinking about the shelf life. And in the beginning, it's a lot of things that probably weren't followed because everybody was still learning, you know, in the beginning. But now it should, you know, people should have some of the kinks worked out. You know, our concerns about products degrading. I've had some issues in, you know, just trying to connect with people like you. And I had almost forgot about what you all do. Oh my God. You are the one that we need to definitely work with because the products here, we want to ensure we, you know, the labs, we don't know, you know, as far as, you know, the labs, they are Georgia certified, but my question is with any lab, can we go ahead and just, you know, send it off to a third party ourselves? And how could we actually fight this like in court? Say, for instance, if it's a contradiction between the Georgia-based labs versus our third-party labs. I mean, have you all encountered that there?
So I have used 3 Oklahoma labs that are licensed through the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority to test medical marijuana products here in our state. And then I took a journey to another state in September 2023 and took some products out there. And a lot of people ask me, aren't you afraid to be saying that? You took cannabis on a plane. Well, no, I'm not afraid to say this because I actually wasn't the one who loaded it onto the plane and was going to leave with it. I got called back and then got on the plane. Okay. Like I had done discarded that crap. No. Anyways, we did use another state's testing facility, and I was super grateful that we had the opportunity to do that, regardless of whatever legalities it had, because the state of California at that time was testing for approximately 66 analytes for pesticides, and the state of Oklahoma only tests for 13. That is the bare bone minimum, in my opinion. My pit bull's whining, sorry. The bare bone minimum, you know, and I feel like that we were being not protected enough in that aspect. So when we took the product out there to California and we did the testing out there, we had one single pre-roll that failed for 19 pesticides. That is 6 more than our state even tests for currently. And so for the last 2 years, one of my beefs with legislation has been trying to get a pesticide expansion panel approved through the legislators so that the OMMA would have to force to test for more than that.
Okay.
House Bill 3013 this year, and it did not make it to committee. That's okay. We got this. I ain't done yet.
Okay. I got you. Come on with it. What y'all got?
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go to bat. I'm ready to play.
So is that what the event is about? So basically, you said that it didn't pass. So you all are on like 2-year terms too, correct? For the session.
2-year license?
As far as like the session for the legislators.
Yeah.
So is this an election?
Yeah.
It is.
We're at the end of session this year. This is the end of the 2 years.
Okay.
And we're also in our lame duck year on our governor. And the real push behind this rally was when he did his state of the state. And if you want to look it up, it's Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. I had to make myself say it right because we all use a different word. So, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt address and what he had to say about medical marijuana for the state of Oklahoma. And that is that he wants to put it back to a vote of the people. Because he does not believe in our program. He does not want this program here. He has done everything he can in the last 8 years to demolish what the people have already voted for in State Question 788, which was our medical marijuana ballot initiative.
Wait, hold up. Let's see. Shut it down. Governor calls for another vote. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Let me see what this is. It's okay if I share this.
And this is my sign for our governor. This is our director for our agency, Director Barry. And this is Governor Stitt down here. So impeach Barry and stop the bull, Stitt. I got that from some of the OGs. That poster is so old.
Oh my God.
And we still believe it.
That is hilarious. That is
been
hilarious.
Almost 80 years since Oklahoma voters legalized.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, it was playing. I was just trying to load it up.
Good.
But you know I'm looking at all of the steps backwards in so many states. That's why having a national cannabis law all the way around would be great, so that we don't have to worry about, hey, I'm over here in Georgia, I only can have this, but I travel, and as my wife always says, my conditions don't stay at home. So
no,
but yeah, let's see. Can we get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, I'm getting better with this tech stuff, right?
Medical marijuana by a vote of the people, but in a final state of the state address today,
our governor says he wants voters to shut it down.
That's what he says. However, not all lawmakers are on board with undoing what voters overwhelmingly approved. News 4's Tanner De Leon is here with why the governor believes the industry needs to be rolled back and what some lawmakers should be the focus on all this instead. Tanner.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with this, Kevin and Allie, because legislators backing the governor, they say the issue should be put to another vote. But those against reversing the will of the people argue any concerns should have been addressed before the state question passed, instead of trying to rewrite what's already been done.
Send the marijuana issue back to a vote of the people and let's shut it down.
In his last State of the State address Monday, Governor Kevin Stitt called on lawmakers to send medical marijuana back to a vote.
One of the greatest threats to public safety is the out-of-control marijuana industry. When Oklahomans voted to legalize medical marijuana in 2018, we were sold a bill of goods. Out-of-state liberal activists preyed on the compassionate nature of Oklahomans. Then it opened up Pandora's box.
He says the industry is plagued with foreign criminals. The Oklahoma Attorney General's office says in just the past 2 years, it has shut down more than 9,000 illegal grows statewide. The State Bureau of Narcotics says hundreds of
I can't even unpack all that. You know what I mean?
God.
Like I can't unpack it.
Words. I'm like, dude.
Now this is a multi-billion-dollar tax revenue industry for the state of Oklahoma. Okay, like where are you going to get that money at? His $5.2 billion surplus that he wants to put 2.6 into a savings account before he leaves his lame duck session. We didn't ask him to go put that in savings. We asked for our marijuana money to go to our teachers, to our roads, things like that needed, help. And we're not seeing that happen yet.
So with all the legislators, I saw something else that didn't pass there. Mm-hmm. So does it seem like it's shifting as far as the support of the medical cannabis program versus,
Yeah.
you know, the anti? Okay.
I can tell you 100% confidence. I am scared shitless for our program in Oklahoma if certain people that are currently running for the governorship for election in November, if they win. I am very scared for our program. I know with certainty in my heart, my soul, and every research I've done that if the current Attorney General, Gentner Drummond, if he becomes our governor, we're screwed because him and Kevin Stitt think too much alike, even though they hate each other.
It sounds familiar to Georgia.
Oh,
We've only had a couple of candidates to come out openly that they are pro cannabis. We got a couple. I think it's maybe it's one Republican, and then it's like 3 Democrats that I know for sure. I think we actually had one of the Democrats to actually carry some cannabis legislation this year. That
nice.
was I'm like, oh my God, it was a great bill. It wasn't the best, but they shut it down because it was a fight between the Democrats versus the Republicans. And I'm just like, look, what about the patients? So
yeah.
But
well, how many patients does Georgia have now?
Right now it's sitting at roughly around 34,000, 35,000, which is only because of the 5% THC oil. And now we have expansion. We hopefully, if the governor signs, it is passed the House and the Senate. The legislation is SB 220, putting patients first. And that started last year, and it evolved from just 50% concentrate THC vape to full plant vaporization. And I'm shocked that we were able to, I'm not going to say shocked. I think it just was the right energy.
Right time.
A coalition, the right time, and the coalition working together, the other aspects working together. We work with Peachtree, Normal, and some other groups. And it was like we had like a united front, but we continued to work throughout, the summer. And we were part of the Blue Ribbon Study. We were invited to come present our nonprofit, the Georgia Medical Cannabis Society. We were able to present, and we were able to introduce, Angela introduced the volcano. And you showed me your vaporizer. Oh my, yeah.
I've used a volcano.
Yeah, they are wonderful.
Awesome. Yes, it is.
We tried it first at MJ Biz. Oh my God. I would show the video, but I'm not gonna show the video. I'm just waiting on him to because I don't know whether or not if they'll be upset if we're too happy, because a lot of times they like to keep us in a state of depression and anger.
Chaos and depression and anxiety about what they're doing to our medicine.
Yeah, it's like, look, I want to grow my own. I mean, I get you, because you were talking about you and your boyfriend basically being poisoned from a store that you trusted. Do you have any anxiety from that?
No, because here's the thing about getting it from store level. It is absolutely in no way, shape, or form the dispensary's fault in any way if there is a pesticide or a heavy metal fill, right? Now, if you go buy a pre-roll dispensary and it's been sitting there for a while, they ain't storing it properly, you might have some microbials in that pre-roll, and that's honestly to be expected. But where it comes down to it is actually getting to know who's growing your medicine. Ask to speak to the grower. Tell them you want to build a terpene profile for your body. And you want to know what works best for you and can they help you or things like that. We can't offer health benefits in Oklahoma on our products. The dispensary, we call them bud tenders, the ones working it. So they are not allowed to, if you went in and you said, hey, I got insomnia, I need something to help me sleep. Okay. They cannot recommend a product for you for that specific condition. Now, what they can tell you, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah. What they can tell me, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What they can tell you is like, well, an indica is more likely to have a effect that would make you drowsy. And, a sativa is more likely going to uplift you and give you energy. And so they can say something like that, or in my experience, or that type of thing. They just cannot say, this is great for sleep. This is great for anxiety. This is this. And so we'd like to see that changed, because a lot of people take like clinician training classes and things like that to become a knowledgeable bud tender, to be able to give that advice. And most people, when they're going to the retail shelf, that's what they're looking for, is that advice. But get to know your growers, who's growing the medicine that you're already consuming, that you enjoy, that you trust and stuff like that. Reach out, talk to them. How do you grow this? Do you grow in living soil? Do you grow in cocoa? Do you grow in hydroponic? Do you grow in aquaponic? Let's hear how you grow my medicine. Do you mind having somebody come by for a tour? Things like that. Those are all options.
Now, you said something in that comment that I'm intrigued about.
Okay.
Living soil?
Uh-huh.
What is considered living soil? And I'm just like, what is that?
Okay, so I'm not the best gal to give the answer. I'll try.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hey, you know what?
No,
I'll Google it.
Because living soil is, I guess, what you would consider the most organic, natural way to do it. They utilize like tree trunks, branches, things like that down in the bottom. They'll add like praying mantises to the gardens and things, and like ladybugs. Like you've got all of these like microbes that happen in the soil. They'll inoculate it with some, say, fish tea and things of that nature, and they feed their soil consistently. And that soil gives some of the most beautiful, healthy plants.
Oh, sounds beautiful. And also too, when it comes to your medical cannabis program, it sounded like you all are you all self-certification, or you have to have a doctor's recommendation?
So we are a doctor's recommendation, 100%, not a prescription, a recommendation. And we are that way because we have 0 qualifying conditions in Oklahoma. We have 316,000+ patient card holders in the state of Oklahoma, and a state that has a population of 4 million. So that's almost what?
Like a third 12%? Or something? Or 12%. Look, hey, I didn't get good with math until I had to learn about a quarter and an eighth, so.
And one thing that I would love for Oklahoma legislators, or who want to be legislators, who are filing for their candidacy this week, okay? Hear me loud and proud. We are 316,000 strong. And we could get behind the right candidate that wants to be our governor, who does not want to repeal our program, but who wants to revamp it and make it better.
Yeah. You got so many people that want to tear stuff down, like wipe it out. And then we'll build it up. No, wait a minute. Let's look what we have, evaluate, and fix the broken pieces versus just total destruction without thinking about the patient. So, so that sounds like you all have the power. It's like 300 and something thousand. So does that consider, I'm not sure about the laws with voting there, because I know in some states, once you do your time, you restore your voting rights. So how is that? Are you familiar with that there in Oklahoma? Out of those 300 and something thousand, how many are registered voters?
Well, I don't have that precise data, but what I do have is the data from 2018, from when 788 was ran before. It was done on a special election. First off, they didn't put it on regular election. And as we all know, special election, lower turnout, right? So we had 56.8% of the voter turnout that voted yes for Oklahoma's medical cannabis program. And I mean, I stand firm in the belief that the children started our program here in our state. And because we have so many iconic kids in our cannabis culture in Oklahoma. I had Marley's mom on a while back, Shelly Dunham, And then I recently had another cannabis mom on, oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so bad. I can't remember, Angela. And so, but both of those moms, fought for programs. And Angela was even, her child was one of the first kids in her county in Texas, whenever she lived in Texas, to become registered onto the Texas Compassionate Use Program. And what I saw in 2018 in Oklahoma was people who were tired of losing family members to opioid overuse and abuse, and ultimately ending, their life through addiction. I myself was in active addiction in 2018. I went to rehab in 2019. When I came out of rehab, I was substance free completely for several months. And then it was almost like this trigger in me where the cravings were intense. I couldn't get rid of it. I knew I was fixing to really screw up again. And at this point, if I screwed up this time, there were things that I would never get back in my life again, including my kids and my grandkids. And so I went straight into concentrated cannabis. Okay. And I had like 14 different containers that sit here on my dining room table, ready to access at any second with my device to smoke it with, everything. And I can tell you 1,000% today, I would not be alive without medical cannabis in my state. I would have slipped back off. I would have messed up, and it wouldn't have been by choice. You know what I mean? I'm gonna cry. I don't want to.
Hey, you about to make me cry. Just like, come on. Yeah, I get you.
But these are the things that our governor doesn't hear, and it's not for our lack of our patients trying to get him to listen. It's not from the lack of the business owners trying to get him to listen. I've personally been to his office over 24 times. He's actually shook hands with my boyfriend on December 17th of 2024. Agreed to a meeting and then never made that meeting come to fruition. So I don't think he has much honor in his handshake. And that's told me about all I needed. And I just need to outweigh his administration and work with the next one.
That's a positive outlook, because it is frustrating, especially when you know for a fact, when you look in their eyes and you looking at them, it's like they're so cold. I talked to some legislators years ago and said, look, this is what we need. And all he could say was, well, no, I'm against it. I'm against it. No, he couldn't elaborate why he's against it. No. However, if we look at the paper trail, which they know they're finding ways to conceal the paper trail of who's actually contributing to your campaign fund. Because here is free labor when it comes to those who are incarcerated. Is it there? Do they get paid there too? Or do they get paid at all? Well, I know feds, they get paid, but
inmates, they can work a job like if they're in a prison, yeah.
But do they get paid for it? Because here in Georgia, it's free.
It's pennies on the dollar. Like they might get like 30 cents a day or some shit.
They get nothing here in Georgia. And the conditions here are horrible. They're killing people. I mean, the things that I've been seeing, the conditions here in the prison system is horrible. And you're locking up non-violent offenders. And it's a shame because they're benefiting off of that free labor. And I'm fed up. And it's like people are coming. It's like you see vultures coming when they smell blood in the water, when they feel like they can make money. And the only way that we can get our power is by the plant. If the plant is free, whatever, and it comes to, we can grow it ourselves. Because
now you guys, y'all don't have a home grow option yet, right?
Not yet.
I feel blessed with that side of it too. Oklahoma, when they opened up the floodgates in 2018, and I say it that way because it was quite literally the floodgates, they were issuing licenses out to anybody that would hand them a $2,500 check. It didn't matter. We had 10,000 commercial licenses when we first opened versus I think around 2,500 or so now, maybe a little bit more. Anyways, they've definitely reduced our licensing, but it was a floodgate. But I feel blessed because we have access to so many product variations in our state. And that has been a cool experience because when I talk to other people in other states and I realize how limited the access is and how much y'all are still fighting for what we're actually kind of taking for granted at the moment, that we need to be fighting for as well. We need to fight to protect what we have already and not let them continue to try to take back from us.
Yeah, and that's why, focusing on, national, state is great, but it's like we got to work it all from state to national, federal, whatever, international, because everything, because this plant just needs to be free.
Yes, it does.
And it's sad.
I don't know if y'all got this issue in Georgia or not, but Oklahoma, they be wiling out over here with some reports that they've put together. They did a supply and demand study a couple years back saying that we grow 32 times the amount of marijuana we need to service every patient in our program at the time. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure we do. That's why you can't find the shit on the shelf, So Dr. Marian McNabb is a recent friend of mine, and I heard that she connected with you as well. And I want to just bring this up real quick. Marian, herself, me, Charles, Patients for Safe Access. Let me pull up this email because I don't want to miss anybody's organizations. So, all right, I promise I'll get there.
Oh, hey, it's all good.
So she has Cancer Center of Excellence, and then Katie's is SSEC, I think. I don't know what hers stands for. I'll have to get hers later. But Dr. Mary McNabb, her 501c3. Yep, here we go. So the other one is the Synergistic Cannabis Consulting. That is Katie Nail's 501c3 as well. Patients for Safe Access, and Orca contributed a little bit of information to this as well. So we, gratefully thank him for doing that. But this is a survey that Dr. McNabb has been busting her ass to put together. It's about a 5-minute survey. We just launched this survey yesterday at noon, and I'm proud to be able to report that in the first 24 hours, we already have 40 survey responses. Isn't that awesome? And so what we're trying to do is collect real data, actual statistical numbers from a patient reported level, and be able to combat some of these false narratives that the state puts out with their numbers. And be like, okay, here's our data, here's yours, make it make sense, And she's also going to be building a report that's going to be going to legislators throughout the Capitol about what we're all working on with the survey, with the report, how we're wanting to utilize this moving forward. And it's been really great because, so I have this tattoo, right here, my train, and it says 420 in the middle. That is so symbolic of what Patients for Safe Access is, Americans for Safe Access is, Georgia Medical Cannabis Society is, because every advocate throughout your state, every member of your organization is like a train car. And when you all link up together, do you understand the inertia and the momentum that they cannot stop?
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so I just challenge y'all to link up, man. Link up and make changes, do it together, do it loudly, do it proudly, and just love the plant, man.
I get you, because it's like, oh my God. And it amazes me that a lot of people want to go ahead and get to the final. I want adult use. I want this. I want that. But we have to realize where we are. We're in Georgia. You know, it was enough to get this. It's just got to keep being consistent and pushing forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it's frustrating. You know, I've only been in it a few years after I was well enough to go to the Capitol. But this is why I fight. You know, I fight because I know what it did for me. I know what type of person I was before. Oh my God. I was miserable. I was bedridden. I was just sick. And the only thing that saved my life was cannabis. It weaned me off of high dose steroids, you know, because I was on prednisone, like, oh my God, I blew up. Oh, you know what it calls you to gain weight. And it messed with my system, you know, with the cushions and a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on, all from that. But I'm grateful for cannabis, and I'm grateful for the people who took care of us. It was the legacy market. It was the CBD stores. It's like, people's like, why are you all fighting so hard for the CBD stores? Because they were the only ones that were there when the dispensaries were, you know?
Right.
But
Anyway,
so, yeah.
No, totally understand that. So that takes me to April 17th.
Okay, yes, April 17th. I got you.
I got approached by a friend of mine here in Oklahoma. His name is Chris Guerrero, and we call him the Chief in Chicano. And he's amazing. He runs a show called Green Room After Dark. He's always dressed up in these pimped out weed suits and stuff whenever he goes to events. And first rally I ever went to in the state of Oklahoma was a Chris Guerrero rally.
Okay.
It was kind of full circle, right? Kind of full circle. And he was like, hey, will you help me with this? And at first I was like, no, man, I don't want to do this. I was like, I don't want to commit to doing this because, like, that's a lot. When you do a rally, it's a lot. And so then I was like, okay, I was like, I got broke down. I had to commit and had to be a part of it. And I'm really glad that I did. So we are trying to turn the Capitol green on April 17th. I have taken sponsors to help me pay for some t-shirts, not all of them, but some of them. And we'll be able to, you know, have our speakers for the day sign some of those shirts so we can auction later and stuff like that. And we are having it on this date because it is the same date as the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority's Executive Advisory Council meeting. Now, these go on every 3 months, and last quarter was the first time they opened it up to a open public comment. It is only good for 3 minutes, up to 10 people. So it's very limited, and you got a limited amount of time. Okay. I did speak at it last time. I think I did great.
I'm pretty sure you did, you know. I got you. Look, let me go ahead and get myself. Yes, I got you.
I was definitely feeling it that day. My anxiety was high, but long story short, we wanted to do it on the same date as that council meeting because as that council meeting ends, we're going to kick off the rally. And that way, all of those people that are already there for that event will be able to funnel down and come through as we're getting it going. And our goal is to have patients and business owners, and pretty much it's a free for all on the mic. Okay. And anybody that wants to come and speak at this event about how either medical cannabis has helped them or harmed them, however you want to do it, you know, we're open to both. I'm not going to say you can't come, you know, because like I've had it harm me and help me, you know what I mean? So like, whoa, right. And we have some really great announcements coming that day. I can't share yet because I have to wait till tomorrow after 5 for the end of the filing day to see if she files.
Okay,
but
cool.
Some great announcements possibly coming that day. And we have several speakers. I don't know if you're familiar with who former Senator Connie Johnson is for state of Oklahoma. She was dubbed the weed smoking senator in Oklahoma. way back before 788 ever passed and we became legal. She had tried multiple times to run bills for medical cannabis in the state of Oklahoma that the House just wouldn't hear. She's amazing. She'll be speaking that day. Also, another lady named Thunder Walker. And Thunder speaks at like MJ BizCon and stuff like that a lot. And she's going to be speaking. A bunch of people from Patients for Safe Access will be there speaking. A bunch of patients, a bunch of owners and stuff like that. So I just want to say thank you to my sponsors that have helped so far with the t-shirts because we appreciate you.
That's really cool. And Thunder, I remember Thunder, she came, we hosted her when she came here to Georgia. Great meeting her, great spirit, that kind of thing.
I think she's beautiful. I just adore her.
I say, we're grateful for people like her and just all over and advocates just like you, because it's like I would have never known to look up this senator that I'm gonna definitely check out, the smoking senator. I knew about the one in Alaska. Or was it the news lady in Alaska? But yeah, because we have some supporters here, because we have some supporters of cannabis here that never consume, legislators, advocates that come out. And it's like, we just have to make sure that we have a united front. Even, we fight behind the scenes and we can fight whatever. Hey, but out front, we need to let them know that we unify, because they don't need to see where the cracks. And, do you know what? I'm not going to get messy. I ain't gonna get messy. No. Like I said, I'm right now. I'm just trying to channel peace. Now that I'm trying my best to channel peace, because I know it's so many daggers and stuff out there with people that's trying to shut this program down, with those same traveling people that go from state to state, as far as the ones talking against cannabis. They have the same spew. It's like, hey, let me pass out this script. And when people, to sit in the committee rooms and see them talking, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to clock in. Oh yeah, no, my time ends now. I'm saying to myself, I'm sitting on these hard benches here. Y'all getting paid, getting passed out papers. I'm like, and we're fighting for the plant. If people only knew, all you got to do is show up. Call your people.
Call your people, please. Yes. Like we had a bill last year that got introduced, Senate Bill 320. And bless his heart, I absolutely love the senator who authored this, but only because we developed a relationship that came from opposition, because I called up there to oppose his bill. And it was a bill that they were trying to make it where they were going to restrict us to 2.5 ounces per week of product that we could buy in flour. Okay. And why that was an issue for people like me is we're allowed to make, our own tinctures and butters and, things like that. And we can make RSO and, different things that we can make at home. Right. But you can't do that if you don't have enough material. So it was a bill that needed to be killed. And I called up there in opposition. I rallied a lot of people to call up there and, respectfully oppose the bill. And we were able to kill that. And then there's been other bills, that we've not been able to get through that needed to go through. So it's a matter of how you speak to them up there. But this senator, he had no idea what Delta 9 even was. Okay. And so I thought it was awesome because we got to have conversations and educate him about cannabis and why his bill was not good. He just was kind of copying and pasting from Arkansas. And thought it'd be a good idea just to implement here too. And I was like, yo, bro, you got to talk to the people. You got to ask them what they need. You can't just assume that because it works over here, it works over here. You're set up way different. So
and then they have to realize too, with your body, everybody's different. It's like you want to put these limitations and you want to go ahead and treat it like, a pill. And see, that's what pharmaceutical companies have already done. Oh, the baby, the doggy.
Come here.
Oh, where's a puppy? Oh, you know I love dogs anyway.
Get up here
You know.
Come here. Come here. Will you get up here? Will you get up here at all? Will you? No, you're not gonna let them see you. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
She's like, no. She wants to go outside.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm not gonna hold you up or anything like that. We can go ahead and get ready to go. But I'm gonna close out. But I appreciate you taking the time with me.
So socials, if you don't mind, guys, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all 3 platforms, under the name Dabbing Nana 78, DABBINGNANA 78. And go give me a follow. I also have my YouTube channel up where I have my own podcast shows posted there. And again, it's at Dabbing Nana 78 as well. So make sure you like and subscribe over here to Yo. And then me too.
Show me some love. Show us some love. I'm gonna make sure I put all those descriptions down there. But hey, get the baby outside and you hold it down. I appreciate you taking my. Yeah, we're gonna talk later. Y'all have a good one.
All right, we'll be back. I'll be back on here.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Have a good.
Stand with us on April 17th, 11 a.m., 3 p.m. at the Oklahoma State Capitol for Turn the Capitol Green. This is more than a rally. It's a defining moment for every patient, advocate, and supporter fighting to protect our medical cannabis program. Step up, speak boldly, and make your voice impossible to ignore. Share your story, real, raw, and unfiltered. Show the impact on your life, your family, and your community. Wear green, raise your signs, bring your flags, and bring your fire. Together we rise stronger, united in purpose, unstoppable in resolve. We don't fight for our rights, no one else will. Spread the word. Bring your people. You are the resistance. After the rally, we march to the Connors Building, home of AMA, where our unity and courage demand change. This is a movement for justice, equality, and the future of medical cannabis.